Looks like this thing is starting to go. Hey, what's up? This is Dave. This is What's Up Dave, my daily stream where I catch up with my friends on the internet. Although this week, I have not been streaming every day. This is the week I was doing 3 days a week. And so this is Friday, the last of 3 days. I think next week I'm going to go with 2 days a week. Monday and Thursday, I'm thinking. But I've been enjoying the time off when I can focus on other things. So when I do one of these streams, I think that puts me in a mindset where I am thinking about, I don't know, just doing this and writing a blog post. Haven't written the blog post yet today. Let me step back and look at some of the things I want to talk about. If you've been following this week, mental clarity has been my focus. And this mental clarity is coming from switching my diet and going back to the gym. The main thing with the diet has been not to eat sugar or starches or breads or grains, anything that basically is a refined carbohydrate. And the result is my mental clarity and energy levels are like 10 times better than they were, I would say, for most the past 5 or 6 months. It's at the point now that I am finding it hard to go to sleep at night because my mind is actually active. I think one change I made this time around compared to the last time I was doing low carb diet was I'm grazing more. I'm eating smaller portions more frequently. And I'm being much more mindful of that kind of sugar spike reaction that I get. So I guess, the diabetes has done a number on my ability to process carbohydrates. Not eating them is contributing pretty well to my sense of mindfulness. And I am being much more productive than I usually am. So that's been a good thing. I think before when I was doing the daily streams, it didn't matter quite so much, the mental clarity, that is, didn't mind quite so much for doing live streams and stuff. Although I bet if I look back, and I'm pretty sure this is true, and see some of those live streams when I was under the influence of lots of carbs and sugars, I remember being more sluggish. It was harder to think of what I was going to say. My energy levels, I think, they must have looked lower. I remember having a few rough ones. So that's been good. I've also been going to the gym. I went 4 times this work week. I might go this weekend. And I've been doing very minimal cardio, which has been get on the machine, go for 15 minutes, then cool down. I find that 15 minutes is about enough time for me to get my heart rate going and to start to sweat a little bit. And I haven't wanted to push it too hard because I'm restarting the habit. But today was the first day where I actually felt like I kind of wanted to keep going. The only thing that prevented me from doing that was there was all this work that I wanted to do, which is going pretty well. I've been working on some JavaScript stuff, and I've been re-architecting the way that we're handling events in the program. And I think it's going to work out pretty well. I've been working this past week just listing everything, looking for patterns, coming up with ways of representing certain operations in a way that would be consistent between multiple levels, multiple parts of the application. I've also been reading up about new stuff in JavaScript. Well, new to me, things like promises, which is a way of handling asynchronous programming event streams. Well, sort of. And then also async await, which are keywords that make it look a little bit cleaner. So I'm actually pretty pleased with the progress I'm making on that. I've been adding stuff to our various repos and stuff. I can pull that up real quick. If I look in my wiki, and I'm going to see about if I can make this public. The project is currently private, but it would be interesting to share some of this stuff with other people that I know. I was running these asynchronous practices wiki page that's based on the notes I was keeping in Quiver, which is over here. And in Quiver, in my Nitrate thing, I've been keeping notes on the kind of events we have, notes on how promises work, the event design, and I've been keeping that also in my Sublime text logs too, and my this devlog md markdown file is how I've been keeping track of the continuity for this project. It's nice to have it right in the file itself. And so you can see at the beginning here's the week starting March 19, and I ask myself a question every day that I try to answer. And then I refer to where to go and find the answer. So like a couple days ago, I was looking for assembling examples of JavaScript asynchronous operations. And I kept all the notes in here, but then I moved them over to these Quiver documents into the wiki design. So anyway, nothing works yet, but I'm at the place now that I think whatever I write is going to be solid, and I won't have to rewrite it again, and it'll be very clear, and I will know how it works, and it should be good. I'm kind of excited by it. So what else is going on here? We got a couple people in the watching, so hello people. Hope you're having a good weekend or a good Friday. Let's see. Let's go into show and tell. So Sam and Max. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but this is Sam and Max Surfing the Highway. This is a comic that I like a lot. And I was looking for this book for a long time, and then like my friend Sid said, "Oh, I've got your book." And he said, "What?" And so, because I've been trying to read this for the past year or two, but I couldn't find it. I said, "What did I do with it?" So I got it back yesterday when I dropped by his studio to return his headphones, which he had left here during the podcast. Grabbed back my macro lens, and then this is Max from that comic, which I bought online. Let's open this thing up, because I'm very excited by this. Oh, it's so cute. This is this is the best thing. Best thing ever. I don't know where I'm going to put it, though. It's so cute. This is from hashtag collectibles. There's the label for it. And it captures the sort of insane happy quality of the of the comic. And so I'm pretty pleased with it. There's something about, I guess, the proportions of the head, the shape of the head. The ears maybe aren't as long. Is there wire in them? They stick. Yeah, there is. So they stick up pretty well. So this is pretty awesome. I don't know where I'm going to put him. He can sit down like this. He's got paws. Oh, so cool. Cat better not ruin him. All right, so you can sit over there, little buddy. Just putting him over the side. One other thing I want to talk about, the Mod T, my 3D printer, which I had mentioned the other day, had gone obsolete. The company New Matter had ceased operations, and but there was a final firmware download that you could get that would disable the online functionality. It used to go to their website and pull down models, and you would actually issue commands to the website, and then the printer would connect to the internet website directly itself and do all the downloading, and the website would update and tell you how it's going on. Since they're closed, that no longer works. So the printer has been converted to manual connection only. So you can actually download and send files to it through the software that they have. So do I even have the software? I think it's called the Mod T printer tool. So like if I share my screen here, here is the Mod T printer tool. That's what it looks like. Let's move this to another. So there's I uploaded the firmware already, and so it's disabled the printer, and it's not plugged in yet because I had to plug it through a USB. We can also load these G-code files, which I believe are 3D files that have been converted into the specific commands that the printer needs to be able to build up an image. So then over here, I did a test print. You can see it in there. Let me see if I can get in there and have a and dig that thing out. Put this camera over here. I guess I could run a test print if I plugged it into the USB, but I would have to unplug the mixer. So even though that those guys have gone out of business, this should still be a usable 3D printer for just trying out stuff. It has an interesting design. It's pretty attractive. So what I'm doing is like I'm pulling this bed off here. It has an interesting calibration technique. And also it's interesting that the head design up here is a fixed position and they move the bed around, whereas a lot of 3D printers, they do the opposite. The bed is fixed, and then this is the thing that's on the servos. So now over here, so this is the thing I pulled off of it. And so you're supposed to just flex this really good. You can't buy these beds anymore, so I guess I should be careful with this thing, but they say to really just kind of get in there and bend it. It's like pretty tough. And then the thing pops up. This is our test print. I have some glow-in-the-dark filament that I want to play with, and I need to look into some of the other CAD tools that they have to generate these things. And so it might be interesting to make a few like little gewgaws that do stuff. Is that it for today? I guess just to close up, there's a few pictures that I took and some stuff to discuss. So let's go back to the screen. Yeah, here's the 3D printer again. But yeah, so one interesting thing, like being on this low-carb diet. Yesterday I was experimenting with the idea of just eating really, really small slivers of chocolate. So basically less than a chocolate chip's worth. So I got this bar of chocolate like at Starbucks, and then I've just been scraping it along my teeth just so I can just barely taste it. Because if I ate any more than that, then I would actually kind of get the sugar spike response. And what I thought is if I had a little bit of carbohydrates, that would help keep my brain going, because the brain responds well to having bits of like free sugars in the bloodstream, because the brain uses all that stuff up for its fuel. And so I think that kind of worked. So I ate like 2 squares of this chocolate over the past 2 days. And I'm not sure if it's worth it. I mean, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of chocolate, but and I'm not sure if it was really giving me any brain clarity. And I think the sugar is making me break out again. So like my complexion is clearer than it's been in a while. I mean, it still looks pretty terrible, but these spots are fading over here. So I might just like drop this idea. This can be used like for emergency stuff. And at Starbucks, they're running some sort of crystal ball frappuccino mystery drink, which I totally want to try, but it's all sugar. There were some people sitting next to me at Starbucks where I was working, and they each got one, and apparently the sparkles that they put on top of them are different colors. I guess this goes to the 25th. It's 5:45. How many calories is it? Loads of calories. It's one of those mystery drinks. It's probably just way too sweet. So instead I got some sous vide egg bites. So these are the egg white and pepper ones. The other one was a egg with Gruyere cheese and bacon. And I didn't want the Gruyere cheese because that's like kind of a soft carby cheese. But egg whites are fine, and these vegetables are fine. This was all right. I mean, this is the most protein. I'll say this is the most protein without carbs item that I saw at Starbucks. Maybe some of their beef jerky would be in that category as well. And I had not actually tried the egg white version of the egg bites. They were okay. It tasted like they had some cream or something like that in it. So it was like, but after I'd gone there after going to the gym, so I needed some protein. I didn't brought any with me. Is that pretty much it for today? I think so. Oh, hey, Courtney. Courtney says, like, good to know that decreasing the sugar habit can help with the breakouts. Yeah, because it was bugging me. Like all these ugly things. Oh, and today at Starbucks, when the baristas like complimented me on my nail polish, I said they're really pretty, and then I said thank you. So that made me happy. The mystery drink is frightening. Good-looking eggs. Why, thank you. I tried to did my best to get some good-looking eggs. And hey, Eric, how's it going? Eric, that's good. That I think this is pretty much it. I'm right at the 15-minute mark. That's what's going on this weekend. Planning to do some work, maybe hang up some prints. Maybe I'm going to put them behind this wall or put them on that wall over there. I'm not sure. Things are, my mental clarity is pretty good. Maybe I'll see if anyone's up for doing something. One last thing is I had this insight about vocation. And I'm writing a blog post about it now. And it's related to the idea that what I'm doing is in creating and enabling a community of learning. And my productivity tools now can be expanded toward process and knowledge. I think I might have mentioned this the other day too. But you know, a new thing was I was watching Ruby, RWBY. It's that Rooster Teeth animated 3D American style anime thing. We watched season 3, and Courtney watches. I think is a big fan of Ruby, and like season 3 is crazy. At the end, I was going, "Oh my god!" But there's this element of it in there when they're talking about muses. And it occurred to me that, you know, maybe in a sense I'm kind of a professional. If I'm being a muse was a job description, and by that I mean, like a muse is if classically I think a muse is one of the goddesses, a Greek goddess that, how do they put it? That inspires in certain areas. I'm not sure what all the muse. There's like 9 of them classically, I think, or 3 of them. And so like there might be. So imagine that there was a muse of getting people together and making things. And so not only are you inspiring, creating the means for doing that, but you're providing the tools and you're providing, I guess, you're enabling that to happen. So it's an interesting idea, you know. Plus, it's a cool idea to be a goddess. You know, I can imagine like I can imagine all the tools that I would have, and like maybe I would have a horse or something like that. So it was just kind of fun to think about. I was thinking about getting one of my RP characters from an online game, and then getting what's it called, a commission drawn of it, but then including all the elements, all the little symbols that you would have for that muse character. So invent a new goddess basically, but base it on like an RP character I have. That would be pretty fun. Oh, Courtney says, like, I would say you are indeed a muse, and that's why I feel it's cool to support you on Patreon. Oh, that's so nice. And Eric says, I have inspired him on many occasions. Well, it's good to be inspiring. And so, like, there's this fine line between helping people and inspiring them. I don't want to really be the battery for people's energy, but I do want to be somewhere in the vicinity of it. And if I can create a space where people can come and be empowered, if I can provide a tool or a story, an anecdote, a process, a method, something like that that helps people along, that's what I like doing. And if I could have a cool bed and breakfast where people could gather together and have their high-speed internet and have all the tools that they need, come together and like eat good food and be inspired by that and each other's company, most importantly. It's not just me. I mean, I want to be the enabler of a community space where this happens. And to some degree, it's it's what I'm doing with the Living Room Cafe, like just kind of building this place out so I can have people around, and with the online co-working stuff. So that's what's on my mind. I'm working on a blog post on it right now, just trying to get everything together. Courtney in the chat room says, in an innovation team, you are the identifier. What's an identifier? How to like ask what that is. Is it a... Oh, I guess that'll give me something to write about once I find out what it is. But it's 19 minutes. I think that's enough for today. So this has been What's Up Day for Friday, March, whatever the hell day it is, March 23rd. And have a good one. Have a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday. I'll do a Monday and Tuesday What's Up Dave next week, and also plan for 2 blog posts on those days as well. So I'll see what the Tuesday, Wednesday working, and Thursday working schedule is like. I'm hoping that, you know, it will allow me to build more hours on this current project I'm working on, and just like have some time to do some of the other things. Like updating the Patreon page, and getting back to work and developing products. I'm feeling pretty good these days. Like, the whole mental clarity thing has really helped. Okay, well, that's it. Have a good one. Talk to you next week.